Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our channel, Two Peas in a Crime Pod. This is my Mama Kelly, my edamame, if you will. I have to input some fake crowd laughter there. When you do post-production on top of case planning and research and the script and everything that you do to make this podcast happen, add in some audience laughter
If I can do that.
When I make jokes, okay?
I'll see what I can do.
Do that. You don't have anything else going on, I know. So do that
I'm going to need you to go ahead and... This is my daughter, Courtney.
I don't remember.
She is a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Besides that.
I called you my mom. Did I say Kelly? I don't even remember what I said now. Who knows what I said? This is my mom, Kelly, if I didn't say that.
This is my lovely daughter, Courtney. She comes in with not knowing anything, including ever anything. Her giant head is full of nothing.
It's just air in here.
No, she doesn't know what we're talking about. She doesn't know the case of the day. She just comes in and she comments and she's funny and she's beautiful. So that's all we need.
And sometimes mom's funny. You're a little sassy today. Look at you.
I feel good.
Nice. She's sassy.
I got a $50 tip last night in my Uber.
Oh, okay.
Can I tell you about this?
Yeah, please.
I picked this guy up. Amazing guy, Zachary.
Okay.
Picked him up in Canton, drove him to North Lawrence.
Okay.
When I got there to pick him up, I drive up and him and an elderlier fellow were in front of the garage. The garage door was open. You know, kind of like at your dad's house where that's where everybody hangs.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were hugging goodbye, and he got in the car, and I was like, it'll just take 1 second. I got to go scrape off my windshield wipers because they're not working. We've had huge blizzard weather here in Ohio.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah. So he was like, oh, well, let me do that for you. He's like 29. And I was like, no, you don't have to do that. You're my rider. It'll just take me a second. He was like, oh, I'd be happy to do it for you. I know.
What a gentleman.
I'm telling you,
what
my
a good boy.
Uber customers are the greatest.
And by the way, if you're even a day younger than me, I'm going to call you a boy and a girl.
I seriously thought,
no offense to this grown man.
I seriously thought after the ride was over, I thought, this is somebody I should have given my daughter's number to. I'm always trying to hook her up with my nice riders.
No, and she's come to me before and been like, I had this rider in my car and he was so nice, blah, blah, blah. And then she'll tell me his name and I'll be like, I know that person. Don't tell people my name anymore. But also she's been like, oh, I was talking about you and this kid was like, I know her. We're friends. We went to school together. And then I'm like, oh my God. So.
Yes. Well, we're driving and he's amazing. And he's like, so is this pretty lucrative for you? And I was like, yeah. And I told him how much I make an hour. And he was like, well, tonight you're making $50 an hour. And I was like, what? I was like, is that what they charged you for this ride? He was like, no, that's what I'm tipping you.
And he gave you 50.
He gave me 50. And he listened to our podcast. And he listened to the Hall & Oates tribute band, Mind Over Matter. That's my husband and my son.
Mom just using Uber shamelessly as a plug for all of her side hustles. Now you're in my car. She's like, do you like podcasts? And they're like, no, not really. And you just hear the door lock button and she goes, well, you do tonight. You into Hall & Oates, 29-year-old man? Not typically. Okay, well, listen to this. Cranks the volume.
He's a guitar player and he's going to contact Chris to take guitar lessons.
Oh, okay.
That's my husband. He teaches guitar.
Well, you are saying a lot of promising things.
So it was wonderful. I feel good. I had a great night last night. I made $50 for
maybe he could 20-minute give me the trip. Ew.
You are so dirty.
Just kidding.
Dirty girl.
Kidding. I love you.
I love you too.
What a great night. No wonder you're in a sassy mood. You got money in your pocket. You're ready to talk shit. All right. What's the case? Today's episode 17. And you know what I forgot?
What'd you forget?
The party poppers.
Oh, well.
All right. Well, we'll do it in episode 18.
We'll just make a short.
We'll add it in. We'll add it in. Cut it in. I bought party poppers because last week we hit 1,000 subscribers. Ew. And then like 4 days later, we hit 2,000 subscribers.
Yes.
What? And we were shitting ourselves.
Really, we were.
We are honored and flattered and excited and grateful. And we're like ridiculous, like schoolgirls, like texting each other screenshots of the
like
page.
5 a.m. Courtney, we got 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we're like sending each other screenshots. Well, what was crazy was I checked it before bed and we were at like 360 something.
Yeah.
And I was excited by that. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. We grew like 12 subscribers today. And I was like jazzed. And then unbeknownst to me, mom set up a new ad campaign to boost our video. And I wake up and I'm groggy, but I check. It's always the first thing I do. And it says like 967. And I was like, rubbing my eyes. I'm like, what happened? We were growing like 15 a day and we just jumped 600 in like 6 hours. And I text mom to see if she was up because she does Uber through the night. I text her. I was like, Mom, did you check the thing? And she was like, yes. And then I was like, she's up. And I called her. I was like, ah. So we have been so excited. And like I said, all of the things, grateful. We're glad that you guys are enjoying this and you're subscribing. Continue to share and like, and, tell your friends, tell your moms, subscribe.
We have a huge following in India.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
And somebody commented, like 6 comments. No, it was wonderful, but she was like talking in another language that I didn't understand. And the only word that I understood was Krishna. So I don't know if
it has a translate button.
I translated it and it still didn't translate. Some of it translated.
One of them translated and it
said, just says, I bow down to you on my knees in obeisance.
I don't think it was to us. Mom, I got a different vibe than you did from this woman. You're thinking that she was like praising us. I'm thinking that she was like praying for us. Like it was a comment on our post about like, Allah, I bow down to you. Help these bitches.
Like, really? See, I thought maybe she was, her picture is of her and a gentleman. And I thought maybe she was like a woman who was maybe not treated with equal rights, because it was on our video of Tracy Thurman, the woman that was almost killed.
I guess since I don't know.
I thought maybe she was like, you women are amazing. I wish it was like that where I'm at.
So both of us are racist, but just in a different way. Mom just thinks every Indian woman must be in a bad relationship. And I just thought that she thinks that we are godless heathens that needed prayed for. So
either way, thanks for commenting.
You know what? We don't care either way. Yeah. Thanks for leaving 6 of the same comment. It was awesome.
Each
it made
one
us
was
happy.
A little different.
Made us happy.
I read the words, but I was like, I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
But
you could fuck with us and just leave nonsense and we'd be like, oh my God, thank you.
Thanks for the nonsense.
Yeah. No, I saw that too. I was like, what? And I was like trying to translate it. I was trying to do the same thing.
You saw the glass as half empty. I saw it as half full.
Per usual. That's the norm for us.
So,
but we did get some other good comments and some Apple reviews.
Amazing comments. Shout out to everybody. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, that review was my friend
Becky. I saw.
Okay. Yeah. That's Christopher's girlfriend's mom that we became friends when they broke up. Yeah.
That was really nice of her. She's had some really nice things to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So this is amazing. We are very excited and yeah, we're ready to get back to it. So today's episode 17.
Yeah.
And we'll shoot our party poppers off when I get them out of my car.
Okay.
I had one job. I had one fucking job. And I failed.
Your life is complicated.
I complicate it. That's true. Anyways, what's the case today, Mama?
Okay, we're talking this one. You're going to be like, well, I don't know. You might be like right on. I'm kind of like, yeah, but
You're You're conflicted.
I am conflicted about it. You're probably going to be like, yes, that's what I would have done.
Stick it to the monosis.
It wasn't stick it to the, well, it was stick it to the bully.
Oh.
So there's a town bully. He is terrorizing the town. And 40 of them get together and kill his ass.
40 of them.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to need to know more before I weigh in one way or another. Because I'm black and white. So oftentimes I have a very like, yeah, fuck him, or like he didn't deserve that at all. I tend to be a black and white gal. I'm going to need some more detail before I can. Because right now it's sounding a lot like overkill and not the right way to handle a bully. Sometimes people need punched in the mouth.
Yeah, no, they just shot him in the head.
I can be pro punching a bully in the mouth.
In front of his wife.
Okay, I'm going to need to know a lot more. So I'm glad I see you have some notes.
I have some notes. We've got a few pages here.
All right. A bully's reckoning.
The town bully. All right. His name, Ken Rex McElroy.
Okay, Ken McElroy.
Yes, he was born January 1st, 1934, and he was one of 15 children. So in that day and age, they were having 13, 14, 15 children. My grandfather came from a family of 13.
Yeah, when I did our family tree on Ancestry and I started doing that side of the family, I had to zoom in so much to see the whole tree because it was like this long. It was like, 17 kids, 18 kids, 13. I was like,
yeah, women were just having litters back then.
Yeah.
I know, just one after another for 18 years of having a baby.
Just blown the fuck out. Like, my God.
Right.
Poor pussy. Okay.
Well, he lived in Skidmore, which is a tiny town within Missouri, and the population is only 400.
Okay, I'm just laughing because you said Skidmore, and then I thought Skidmark, and then I was going to say, oh, that's a tiny town in my son's underwear.
You and your father think the weirdest things.
You do. That's such a Keith Crumb line of thinking.
It was.
That I have.
It was.
Yeah.
But
anyways, this real person who was murdered. Now I'm just thinking about skid marks. Skiddies. Oh, murder. Okay. So I forgot his middle name was Rex.
Ken McElroy.
Ken Rex McElroy. Okay, so he lived in Skidmore in what state?
Missouri.
Okay.
So he was raised in extreme poverty, and he had a limited formal education. He did learn early how to survive through intimidation and how to exploit people who were poorer or more vulnerable than others. So he picked on the weak.
All right, I don't like that.
He developed a reputation when he was young as being very aggressive, very confrontational, and very unafraid of authority. So he didn't care about authority.
Well, he's in a big family, and those times you had to, you had to vie for everything.
That's true.
A place at the table, food,
Yes.
Everything was harder back then. That was a very different time.
They probably had an outhouse. That's how my grandfather and grandmother, they had outhouses
around that
then.
time. Yeah. And he's going to be,
just to give you a picture of what the living arrangement was probably like.
He's going to be around, 8 to 12, somewhere in there during the Second World War.
The Depression.
No, he was past the Depression. That was in the 20s. He was coming out of the Depression. He was born in 34, I thought you said.
I thought the Depression happened when the Second World War happened in like 30.
No, I thought the Second World War, I can't talk, but I thought the Second World War is what helped kind of like get us out of the Depression.
We are so...
The First World War
historically
is what hurt.
That's
us.
What I meant.
There was the Roaring
That's
20s,
what I meant.
And then there was the crash.
The First World War.
Yeah.
You are
The
correct.
First World War is kind of what dipped us. And then there was a crash after the 20s. And so he was definitely Depression era, like no doubt. That was definitely the time where
people, it was still fresh.
Oh yeah. And we weren't great yet when he was born, but then we were coming out of it when he was, like I said, 8 to 12, start coming out of it. But depending on where he was in the lineup of children, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't find that out. So
maybe his brothers could have been drafted or something if I don't know if he was the oldest or the youngest, or even his father, depending on ages and things like that. Yeah, it was a very different time considering that it was only 90 years ago. It's wild.
I know
how vastly different.
Oh, right.
Things were.
That's
we want
true.
for fucking nothing now. I lay in my bed to order my groceries to my house. And
yes.
These people were having to stand in line for bread or make their own, or you know what I mean?
Go without.
Yeah. It was just a wildly different time. So again, I'm trying to understand the mindset of a person like this. And there are plenty of people who grew up in families with multiple children, and it was rough and they couldn't be fed, that didn't go around fucking terrorizing everybody,
Of course, yes.
So, but if you're a person who has a mental illness or mental problem or something, obviously it is going to make you, that kind of condition is going to make you more susceptible to.
It's kind of a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It depends very much on how your parents raise you.
Yeah.
As well,
Yeah. Nature versus nurture.
Mom and dad obviously weren't beating his ass for being a bully.
Or maybe they were. Maybe dad was beating the shit out of him and he learned through modeled behavior that's how you handle problems, and not everybody that's beats. That's true. But some people, like I said, you go back to the nature side of it. What's going on in your brain? Do you have the empathy? Do you have the frontal lobe?
Right.
That's telling you boy, I didn't like that, so I certainly wouldn't do it to someone else. Or is it, I got the shit kicked out of me and now I have aggression and I want to take it out, and it's okay to take it out on people, clearly.
Yes.
Like I said, it's always a little bit of both in my eyes, nature and nurture. I'm never black and white on that. I think it really does take both.
All right. Well, let's continue. Ken did not have a steady, legitimate job. His primary source of income was self-described as a farmer and a livestock trader. But in reality, his income came from cattle rustling and then livestock theft from his neighbors and selling the stolen animals of his neighbors.
Okay. I watch a lot of Peaky Blinders, and Thomas Shelby's the main character, and they say, what did your father used to do? Because he comes from a family of gypsies and people look down on him. And he was well, he was a fortune teller and he was really good at it. And he used to tell people all the time that their cattle was going to get stolen. And they thought he was an amazing fortune teller because then their cattle got stolen because he was the one who stole it. And that's just reminds me of what you're saying.
Okay.
Oh, I know how I could raise cattle. Take yours. This is easy. Why don't people do this?
Right. Yeah, that's how he lived. So then he would claim the disputed cattle were his, and then he used intimidation to prevent any challenges to that. Yes.
It's my cow now. Wrestle you for it.
His victims often dropped charges, let him keep the animals or property that he stole, or even paid him to end his intimidation.
So he's in his teens or 20s. So we're talking about the 1950s now, yes. When he's doing this, right? Here, because you're talking about career. So I'm guessing that you don't mean that he was a child anymore, that this is more like manhood.
Right.
So we're in the mid 50s. So we're post World War II.
Yeah, we're boomers.
But we're still not technologically advanced everywhere yet.
No, not at all.
That was more like the 60s when that became really widespread.
Yes.
So, okay. Again, I'm just trying to capture the mind of a person in this time era. And I don't know much about Missouri or where he's from.
I don't either. I don't
but
even
even
know
here
where
in
that's
Ohio,
located on the map.
there are cities that were, you know, modernized faster. And then there were rural towns. You go down southern Ohio, that shit's still nothing but farmland.
That's true.
You know, so it's hard to say if there was much else to do other than
I'm sure in a town of
steal
400,
people's cattle. Yeah, it sounds like
nothing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also then you got to be careful if you're pulling shit in a small town. Because if everybody knows everybody,
which they did.
Yeah. And it sounds like, okay, so we're building the scene here. He was getting away with bullying his way out of stuff for a while.
Right. So my research showed that how he got away with it was actually because of the rural setting, because the livestock ownership was harder to track. And then the thefts were easier and harder to prove.
Yeah.
So the witnesses were afraid to testify against him. And then that allowed him to openly operate and appear legitimate on paper.
Ballsy, this one.
So McElroy was described by the townspeople and law enforcement as sadistic and narcissistic and highly controlling in his relationships and dealings.
So he must have been doing some pretty sadistic is a strong word. Well, maybe not back then. You know, if you acted different at all, you were, you know, remember when they used to like drown and burn women because they thought they were witches.
Right.
So maybe sadistic isn't that strong of a word for the time, but, you know, when they felt so scared that not even other grown men were able to be like, don't steal my fucking cattle anymore. You know, what was he doing? Like,
yeah.
Was he like creeping in their house in the night? Like, you know, was he killing their pet? Like, what was he? I'm trying to think, like, what would you do that would really silence of that time frame other grown men? Because I don't see women stepping out to,
no,
you know,
definitely not. He was doing a lot. We'll get into it.
Okay.
Yeah. So he thrived on fear. He thrived on public dominance and being untouchable. That's how he thought of himself.
I just thought he was a gangster.
He didn't hide his criminal behavior. He flaunted it. And he took pleasure in watching people back down. He loved forcing apologies for, you know, the people that were accusing him of offenses. And he loved making his victims retract their statements after they formally accused him in court.
He was running like a one-man mafia.
Absolutely. That's a good way to put it. Like, and boy, his picture, he's chilling looking. His eyes look dead. He just looks like a guy who will kill you.
Yeah. That works. Most people enjoy their life. So if some crazy guy who absolutely looks like he will back up his words says like, I'll fucking kill you, you're like, okay, you can just have the cow. Never mind.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. Please don't kill me or my family. That's another thing. He was almost never seen unarmed. He open carried shotguns, rifles, handguns, even in the courtroom, which I would think there'd be a law against that. You can't have guns in court now.
I don't know when that started, but think about now in today's climate, and we have like AR-15s and shit, you know, we have these like fully auto guns and yeah, courts, there's places now where even though there's the Second Amendment and people are like, praise be Second Amendment. Like, yeah, but you can't carry your gun to a school. You can't carry your gun in a federal building. If it's prohibited, it's prohibited. If it says no guns, you can't take it there. You know what I mean? And people feel that that's trampling on the Second Amendment. And that's 2026.
Okay.
So think about back then. It doesn't surprise me to hear that he was
guns
like
were allowed everywhere.
Open carrying. And maybe it wasn't that he was open carrying, because I imagine a lot of these people on a farm, like you're a farmer, they probably did have shotguns. So you worry about coyotes, you worry about shit hurting your cattle. It must have just been the fact that, like, paired with the fact that he was mentally unstable, that people were like, well, I don't like this guy's carrying around a fucking gun all the time.
Well, he wasn't just carrying. In the courtroom, he would bring his gun. It would be a proceeding against him. He would stare down the jury and stare down accuser while he was cleaning his gun and fiddling with it. So it was a very, very not subtle
intimidation
tactic.
Well, obviously that would work.
And then magically the charges would be dropped. He would stare down the police, the judge. Everybody was basically on his list in their minds.
Well, no wonder it got to a point where people are like, well, we're just going to have to fucking kill him because the judge isn't standing up to him. The police aren't standing up to him. You know, if we can get a jury of 12 together, they get scared, you know, like all the systems that we've put in place to properly deal with criminals in our society are failing us.
That's how it was. That's exactly how it was.
I mean, what choices are you left with? I don't know. You know?
I know. It's hard to...
What, is everybody supposed to just uproot and move? Like, that's not realistic. People still don't fucking do that.
Yeah, this one is like one of those ones where you're like, I don't like vigilantism, but in this case...
You don't like vigilantism.
Clap, clap, clap. No, I'm not saying me personally. I'm saying that the townspeople or...
Oh, the collective. Like, you know we don't want to go that way.
They don't want to go that way, but it's almost like their hand was forced and that it was a good decision. But at the same time, they murdered somebody and did not go to jail for it.
We murder people all the fucking time. It's called the death penalty. It's called poor public health care systems.
But... He didn't do anything that deserved the death penalty. He would have gone to jail and served some time, but he wouldn't have gotten the death penalty. He didn't murder anybody.
Yes, this is true. I see what you're saying. I see the point that you're making. None of his crimes had been harsh enough to receive the death penalty, but they should have incarcerated him. And at the rate he was going, he would have been incarcerated an awful lot. And reoffending, he would have... You know,
it would have been harder for him to reoffend. He would have been in prison a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then what are you going to do? What's your alternative? Well, since the court systems didn't put you in jail, we dug this hole and we're going to put you in jail, in a hole on the ground. We're going to imprison you like ourselves. I don't see that working either. You know what I mean? I'm not justifying it per se. I'm just being devil's advocate. I'm just saying, what the fuck can you do?
It's hard because at first, when I first saw the case, I was like, oh, hell yeah. These people took control. They took charge. Fuck the police.
Yeah.
You know, and
NWA.
They said, we're going to do this and we're not going to tell on each other. We're going to make a pact. And I was like, hell yeah. Because there are plenty of people that would be great to do to, but it's not great. It's totally against our entire system of justice. And it's scary because if everybody starts doing that, then it breaks down our system of policing. But
it's not that they bypassed the system of justice from the start.
No, they didn't.
They did try to go through the proper channels multiple times. And they were losing their money, which, again, we are talking about rural towns in a post-war, post-depression era. And, you know, and what the Depression taught people was not to trust institutions, and also that at any time, shit can collapse. And so even when things were good, people weren't trusting that they would stay good. And you know, people were penny pinching and meal prepping and careful about every part of their life, and taking, you know, even just one one cow, you know.
This actually happened. So he was in his 40s. So I think it was the 70s
when he was doing this,
that it escalated to that. So he'd been doing it for like a 20-year period.
So he'd been doing it from the 50s to the 70s.
Yes.
So now we're in the 70s. Things are a bit more modernized. I have watched that spider crawl from all the way over on that wall, all the way over and up into this web over here. It's been impressive. He's just a daddy long legs. He's just living his best life. But I've watched. He's made some. He's made moves. He's making money moves today. Anyways, okay, 70s, more modernized. that makes me even more shocked to hear. That makes me feel like this town really must have been on the fucking outskirts. Because in the 70s, courts were more, what am I trying to say? Those intimidation tactics weren't working as much unless you quite legitimately were the fucking mob and you were like, the day of your trial, their star witness was fucking gone. And you were like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, now you have no case. So this goes back to me saying that it's not that they just right out of the gate were like, let's do some vigilante shit, Taylor Swift style. Like, they tried and tried.
It was a conundrum.
Years, it sounds like.
Because this guy was just getting away with these terrible things. Yeah. It was, I'm sure.
And they're not Amish. And they're not trying to shun.
They're just good, hardworking people.
They're not trying to shun and hope that he just comes and learns a lesson.
Right.
Through time and, well,
maybe. Let's talk more about it.
We'll just get robbed our whole lives and we'll let God handle it.
He does more. So, yeah, they're not.
Well, I'm already ready to kill him.
They're not doing
he does
that.
More?
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And we haven't even approached some of the stuff.
If you're about to tell me worse stuff, then I can tell you that I am full bore, like, yeah, kill this fucking guy.
I knew you would be. Yeah. I really thought that.
And no, I don't like that system. I don't want to be that. I want the systems that we've put in place to work. I want checks and balances. I want it to work.
Yes.
I do. Desperately.
But it didn't work.
Oftentimes it doesn't.
So this guy was intimidating everybody. So he was cleaning his gun in the courtroom and staring down everybody, made sure to be seen in bars with his guns. He used his guns as psychological leverage. So they weren't just tools. It was a psychological game he was playing with the town.
Absolutely. He was purposefully terrorizing them.
Yes. And he actually studied the court system informally. He was very schooled in it. He understood about the burden of proof and witness dependency and delays because of appeals. He understood about all that.
Oh, so he's not a dumb guy.
No. He used intimidation to collapse the cases before the trial, forced plea withdrawals, and local prosecutors admitted that they knew he was guilty, but they couldn't prove it without witnesses.
So he had all the mental means to go be an attorney, go to law school, be an attorney, make a shitload of money. You don't ever have to steal a cow again.
Right.
Rake in the fucking dough the right way. Go get a job.
He didn't he was evil.
No, he purposely was like.
He enjoyed the evil things he was doing. He wasn't about the law. He was totally against it. Talk about antisocial.
Yeah. Yes.
So between the 60s and 1981, he was accused of 20 plus crime incidents. He was charged multiple times, but convictions were rare and sentences were delayed, appealed, or overturned. His central tactic across cases was witness intimidation until the testimony collapsed. He would just lean on them.
Yeah. That's mob shit. That's mafia shit.
What he was accused of was repeatedly stealing cattle, hogs, grain, and farm equipment. And the typical pattern went like this. The property disappears. The accusations made against him by somebody. He confronted the owner while he was armed to intimidate them with his, with death threats. And then the owner withdrew the complaint. And that is pretty much how it went. And it worked every time. So why change? Why fix it if it's not broke, right?
I'm surprised after 20 years that someone was like, you've never actually killed anybody though, so shut the fuck up.
Well, let's continue.
Okay. He had to have escalated at some point. I mean, at some point, somebody had to have actually gone fucking missing. Or it wouldn't have worked.
He not only intimidated with his guns, he would set fire to their barns or their outbuildings. So that was part of the intimidation.
Oh, the triad.
The fires would follow the disputes and the complaints made against him. No arson convictions were ever obtained because witnesses declined to testify. He made it known that he was the one that started the fire. He was, like I said, he didn't do things secretly.
And think about how that would wreck. First of all, he just stole your tractor. So there goes your fucking farming and your ability to move the heavy things on your farm. And then he stole your hog and some grain. And there goes your income.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to have to buy more grain. But how are you going to transport it or load it? Because your tractor's gone. And then so you're pissed and you say something and he's like, oh, really? And then he sets your barn on fire. And you have kids of your own to feed. And can you imagine, like, how
if the police weren't doing anything
devastating to your life that could wreck someone's life?
Oh,
we are all just like 3 bad days away from being fucking homeless,
destitute. Yes,
yeah. I mean, you know what I mean. So,
yeah, most of the working classes. Well, his modus operandi was the threats were direct, personal, and delivered face to face. And violence was typically followed by intimidation and then legal collapse because the charges were dropped and the witnesses recanted, as I said. But another thing that he was accused of that he went, to court for and then it was dropped was beating men who confronted him over theft. He would just beat them. He would assault the neighbors. Victims reported being struck with his fists or with blunt objects and being knocked to the ground and kicked. The assaults were often brief and very public so everybody could see, or semi-public, and meant to send a message.
Yeah, I don't know what option they were left with.
I'm telling you. So he frequently threatened people while visibly armed, and the common scenario included showing up at a victim's home with a rifle, cornering people in parking lots with his gun, and blocking roads with his truck. Imagine you're just driving down a road and it's blocked because there he is.
Imagine if you said, I know you stole my shit. Like, don't do that. Give it back. And now you're driving down the road and he's blocking your car all because you were justifiably upset about something.
Exactly. So, the statements that he would make were threats of death and promises of retaliation if police were contacted. Victims often complied immediately.
I don't know. It sounds like they took care of business. Bachman Turner Overdrive. Taking care of business every day. I don't know. I'm pro dragging this guy out. Pop, pop.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I really do.
I don't think I'm going to lose sleep over that one. Sorry. Not sorry. I just.
When he was accused of cattle theft, McElroy confronted the owners directly and claimed ownership very aggressively. And then victims reported being told they would be sorry or being told not to push it. And the stolen cattle then were never recovered and charges quietly disappeared.
You did say he had a wife.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, okay, but that's next. Violence and threats related to, her name was Trina Dowdy. I think it's Dowdy, Doughty.
Yeah. Dowdy.
This was his teenage wife, who was 14 when he married her. We'll talk about that in a second.
Drag him out. Drag him out.
Yeah, he was 40. When authorities tried to remove Trina from him.
Where were you ever feeling conflicted? I know. Waiting to feel the part where you're like, I don't know.
I know.
It's not right.
It's not that it's not right. Like I said, when I first read about it, I was like, yeah, fuck this motherfucker. Get him, and but then I'm thinking about it and I'm just like, if you can do it to one, then why not? If you're mad at somebody, can't you just murder somebody else?
What's the statistic in this town?
It's just that they murdered him.
In 100-year time span in this town, how many people did they ever drag out and shoot in the street? My guess is 1.
Yeah, it was 1.
Okay, so it's not just like we're mad at Kelly today because she took my parking spot, so we're going to drag her the fuck out and show her who's parking. They're not the fucking mafia. He was.
Yeah, but if people hear about it and then just start doing it in their towns that aren't all about we're just going to take care of this because, we're just going to make a pact. And
I don't see it spreading. I know more dicks than I know good people. I know more people that should be drugged the fuck out, maybe not killed, but at least had the shit kicked out of them. And I don't see it happening. I don't think that it spreads. I think that this was a case of justice. It just was. I just don't see any problem with what happened. And
I get it. No, I do. I get it.
I don't know.
And I kind of don't see any problem either. It's there.
It's troublesome because if people, the general public, which is a scary term, start taking
right.
things into their own hands and solving problems the way they see fit, yeah, that would be terrifying. You're talking about...
And that's all I'm talking about.
Martial law. Isn't that what it's called?
I think so.
Yes. And yeah, that's a terrifying thought. That's me moving back in with Dad because he's got lots of guns and wish a motherfucker would, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Your dad used to clean his guns when my mom would come over. When I read that about him, I was like...
She had that coming.
This reminds me of my ex.
Again, sorry, not sorry, Sandy. No, I don't hear a lot about vigilante stuff, and every once in a while, I've seen videos on the internet or I've read stories where people did mistakenly think that someone was doing something and that person got the shit kicked out of them and was in really bad way physically in the hospital and stuff because a mob mentality took over and a few people were fighting and they were like, what's going on? And someone was like, that guy's a pedophile or these these trigger words. And so other people are like, oh, well, let me help you then. And this mob mentality took over and really nobody really knew what was going on. And somebody who didn't deserve it got beat up. Yes, those stories are tragic, and that's it has happened, absolutely. But not this time. I bet not another one of those people ever fucking committed another crime in their life.
No.
And yeah, I just don't see it being a problem. And you still have more terrible shit to tell me, and I'm already sold.
So we'll just get into it about Trina. She was 12 when he started taking her. She was in the foster care system. She came from a terrible background. So she was in foster care. He was 12. He's got his eye on her. He starts taking her.
He was 12?
No, she was 12.
She was 12. Okay.
He was 46 or something. He starts going to the foster's home and taking her out and just keeping her. And they would... try to send the social workers to get him, and he would do his little trick of intimidation, and they would take her back. He would go get her. They would take her back. They would put charges on him. Then they would drop them.
I bet he could have gone on stealing cattle for a very long time, and I bet you that this is what finally did not fucking sit well with people.
Well, finally, when she was 14, he married her. So she must have been made some kind of a...
emancipated minor.
Right. And,
well, yeah, if you're a ward of the state, they're like, I don't care, do whatever the fuck you want. One less to feed.
So, law enforcement's perspective, the sheriff and prosecutors stated later on that they believed he would kill someday, and they felt powerless without witnesses.
Yeah.
Officers acknowledged that they feared confronting him alone.
I'm sure.
McElroy was very well known to mock the system and brag that he couldn't be touched. He thought he was an untouchable.
He had been. That's why he thought that.
The town feared him because he was predictable in his cruelty and unpredictable in his timing. So you never knew.
Yeah.
When he would show up to get you. But they believed that he was capable of killing. And his presence alone changed how people lived and altered their daily routines. And he controlled Skidmore like he was holding office. So he was the,
What a fucking sicko.
Yeah.
Married a 14-year-old girl. He's a grown-ass man.
Uh-huh.
Because no other woman in the fucking town wanted him. And so he had to go and groom a child from a fucking orphanage.
Yes.
Okay. Drag him out. Bring him out. Bring him out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth.
I don't know what that is.
It's a rap song. You should become familiarized with it.
Okay. Who sings it? Who raps
T.I.
it? T.I. Okay.
Yes.
I love your little soundtrack.
I could
additions.
just do a soundtrack for every episode.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, no, I'm pro killing this fucking guy. Let's go.
Okay. So Trina. She was born in 1962 and raised in Skidmore as well. She came from an unstable home environment, and her family circumstances are what placed her in state custody. She entered the foster care system as a child. Her first contact with McElroy was when she was 12, and he was in his mid-40s. Basically, he was charged with statutory rape and kidnapping. That's what was going on.
Yeah, yes.
But, of course, the case collapsed when, first of all, Tina refused to testify.
Trina,
yes. And she would openly defend him. We believe this is coerced.
Yeah, the grown fucking men in the town were afraid of him. And you think the 14-year-old girl's going to be the one that fucking breaks the system?
Exactly. She acted afraid of him. She was eventually allowed to marry him at age 14, and that's what ended the prosecution efforts.
Yeah, so now it's a husband and a wife. There's no crime.
Right. So the people of the town said that she appeared fearful and very withdrawn, and she rarely spoke independently in public.
I'm sure.
She was frequently seen armed, though, and sitting beside McElroy during any of his confrontations. He would sit in his truck and just sit in front of somebody's house with Trina, and they'd both have weapons.
Yeah. Romantic.
So she was isolated from her peers, showed loyalty to him, and defended him despite...
She showed obedience to him.
That's what it was.
It certainly wasn't loyalty. Loyalty. It was obedience.
Yes.
And fear. For the same reason that these people, because you could say vigilantism is bad, and if they just would have had the balls to be a witness, then he would have been in jail. So stop letting somebody needed to stand up. Sure. Okay. And yes, you can say that. So they stand up and they go be a witness. And in the meantime, if he's not detained, or depending on the type of case it is, he can go home at night and come back to court the next day or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
We just rely on the police department in this rural area to come to a call, and it takes 2 seconds to walk in someone's house and shoot them. And maybe your wife gets the call out to the police or not. And then the police get there, and however long it takes them, and he's gone, and the damage is done. So right. Bravo, you know, like it's not so much that they didn't have the balls. It's that none of them were dumb enough to know that they didn't understand that while he's still being prosecuted, or if anything happens and the case falters in some other way, or there's a delay or these tactics that are used, they just have to rely on the police to be there real quick. There's no fucking witness protection plan for these people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And now we have this 14-year-old girl, and the whole town sees what's going on and knows that there's no way to help her.
Right.
Because she's not going to speak out for the same reason that they don't.
Yeah, she's just trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Bowen Camp incident. This is where it gets serious. This is Skidmore, Missouri, and this started in 1976 up until 1981.
Okay. 5 years.
Yes. A local named Ernest Bowenkamp was known as the respected businessman who owned the town's grocery store. All right. It was like the only store. Everybody shopped there.
Makes sense.
His store was a social hub and essential in the town of 400 people. He accused McElroy of shoplifting one day. specifically stealing small items from the store. Nothing big, but he was
Pocketing
stealing.
shit. Yeah.
McElroy was already known for theft and intimidation, so Bowenkamp obviously knew his reputation.
Yeah.
But, and he was known to retaliate when challenged. And the accusation was direct, public, and unusual because few residents confronted McElroy openly. So Bowenkamp directly, publicly accused him and took him to court and wasn't backing down.
This guy's got a set on him, all right?
He had a set. So after this accusation happened right there, McElroy left the store and he was pissed off, as you can imagine. And then he returned later with a shotgun. And he confronted him again. McElroy confronted Bowenkamp again and fired the weapon. He shot him in the neck and he was seriously wounded and somehow survived. So
Jesus Christ.
He followed through with his threats.
So attempted murder of a witness. I can't imagine that even during that time that already wasn't like a statute. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That by that point in time in history, that had to already be make for a heavier sentence. You weren't supposed to do fucking witness tampering.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. The shooting was deliberate and widely witnessed. Everybody saw it. And then everybody knew about it who didn't see it because it's a small town.
Yeah.
So McElroy was charged with, guess what? Assault. You think it was attempted murder? No. It was assault. That's all he was charged with. Why? Why do you think that was? Because they were afraid to charge him with more?
I don't know. Why not be thankful? Like, finally he did something public and we like got him. You know what I mean? Like, not thankful, but God forbid that he did something so terrible, but to his own demise, we can really lock him up and we can give him a hefty sentence and he can't appeal it.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. But no, they charged him with assault. And in this instant, though, Bowenkamp, despite all of the intimidation and being shot, and didn't back down still. And he agreed to testify against him to put him away for assault.
Good.
So McElroy was actually convicted and sentenced to 2 years in prison.
Wow. Okay.
But because McElroy knew the system, guess what he did? He filed an appeal. And he was released on bond while the appeal was pending. And Missouri law at the time allowed convicted defendants to remain free during appeal processes. So the result was McElroy never served a single day of that sentence before his death. So it went on for 5 years.
Jesus Christ.
He was just appealing and he didn't go to jail. So how do you think the town felt now? This guy is out shooting people and he's not in prison still?
Yeah, everything pointed to like the justice system doesn't work.
Yeah.
What the fuck does justice mean? What does that mean? What does that look like? It can't possibly look like this.
I know, it's outrageous. It's unbelievable.
You said that he didn't do anything to deserve to be killed.
Still, he didn't kill anybody. I said that he didn't murder anybody. That would be what you get the death sentence.
Well,
it was
you don't
attempted
shoot
murder.
people in the neck and they don't typically fucking survive that.
It was attempted murder in this case because he didn't die, which still doesn't deserve it.
What if he shot
life
him
in prison?
What if he shot him in the knee?
What?
Like real fucking mafia style shit. Just blow out his fucking knee.
I'm not defending him. I'm not defending this guy.
I'm just trying to turn you from feeling conflicted at all into being ready to leave here and take a bat and go club somebody with me later.
She's always trying to toughen me up.
Yeah. You got to start being like, no, I was just talking with my friend Laura last night. I took Harvey over to play with his friend and I'm friends with his friend's mom now. It's great. It's wonderful. It's so nice to have a mom friend.
Yeah.
And she's wonderful. I love her. And we were talking about the same thing. She's very much like me. I would hate to get the two of us together in a situation like this. We would be the ones like with like spears. Like, but we were talking about how like some people feel so guilty and so bad about things. And we were both discussing how we just, we don't have that setting. Like, you know, she was like, you know, I'm sure my family and I, we were saying like, how does our family thinks like, how do we sleep at night? And I was like this, like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like you can't go around doing shit purposely. Everybody makes mistakes and everybody makes bad choices and everybody has fucked somebody over at one point or another, me included. That is human. To err is human. Fair enough. The difference is how you feel about it and how you act afterwards. Do you feel guilt? Do you realize I got away with that, but I don't feel good about it? And then change your behavior and move on, not doing things like that again? Mm-hmm. Do you feel a sense of wanting to do good just for goodness sake in you? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or did you get away with fucking one over and think, okay, well, what else could I get away with? You know? And when you have choice, when you have free will, and this goes back to whether you're a religious person or not, one way or another, there's free will involved, right? You have this free will. If you're choosing to do bad, you're choosing to hurt others, to knock others down, to gain, you know, height by the stepping on the back of someone else. If you're choosing that repeatedly, what the fuck do you expect? And then something bad finally comes your way and I'm the one that's supposed to feel guilt? No, I'm sorry. I don't. Sorry. I don't. I don't get it. And you are very much someone who's always willing, no matter what evil shit someone does, you are so willing to like see a silver lining in them and see a humanity in them. And it's admirable. And I'm not saying I'm 100% right and you're 100% wrong or vice versa.
No, I know.
But you are someone that absolutely, after like being part of this guy getting shot, would have like absolutely lost sleep and felt bad about it for the rest of your life. And I'm here to tell you I had the best night's sleep ever after I shot that motherfucker in the head.
I get it. No, you know? And honestly, that's what I love about you. I love our, you know, differences.
Yeah.
It's inspiring. It's inspiring. And it helps me. We both could learn from each other. It helps me make little changes.
Yeah. We absolutely can learn from one another.
And we have learned from each other.
Yeah, this is true. Yes, we do. But it was funny. Laura and I were definitely like team. She got in a huge fight at Christmas and like told people in her family that had it coming, you can go fuck yourself. Oh. And I was like, were you just like on cloud nine? She was like, yeah, I was like tap dancing out of there. And I was like, fuck yeah. Love to see it. Like,
okay.
Yeah, no, this guy, scum of the earth. Bye. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Stop taking up my oxygen. What a waste.
No, I get it. And I like the way you think.
Mom says, I get it. There's a single tear. Like,
yeah, it's just hard for me. So, all right. There was definitely plenty of post-conviction harassment then. So while he was free on appeal, McElroy parked his pickup truck outside Bowenkamp's store, sat for hours watching the entrance, and was often armed. He openly stated that Bowenkamp was a dead man, and Trina Dowdy was frequently beside him in the truck and also visibly armed. And actually, this behavior was legal under local gun laws because you're allowed to sit in your vehicle wherever you want for hours armed.
Yeah, you can just be a menace to society.
Even though it was clearly intended to
be... The 70s were wild.
Intimidation, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bowenkamp repeatedly sought protection from the local sheriff, the town officials, and the prosecutor. And they responded by doing nothing and stating that McElroy had not violated a specific law at that moment. So no restraining order was issued.
Yeah, no, until something terrible happens and then you can levy for a law.
Well, I mean, he was shot in the neck. Doesn't he deserve a restraining order for that?
I would have thought that would have been the terrible thing that, like, got a bill passed that, like, you can't hurt, Apparently not.
They claimed their hands were tied. They acknowledged the threat, but their hands were tied legally. They had no standing ground, no ground to stand on. So the community fear reached a breaking point in the summer of 1981. So now we're talking 5 years later. McElroy was again parked outside Bowenkamp's store. This guy just doesn't give up. It's been going on for 5 years that he's been terrorizing and tormenting this guy that he shot.
Yeah, no, this is where sadistic is a perfect word. Like, he literally was just doing things because he could and getting off on it.
Yeah.
Rock hard sitting outside this grocery store.
Right.
Getting off on it.
Yeah.
After he shot this fucking guy in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And that just wasn't enough. Like,
yeah.
It seems like, what do you mean? Like, clearly it's personal. Clearly he's not sitting outside he's targeting me. Mm-hmm. Well, he's just sitting there in his truck. He's allowed to sit there and shine his gun if he wants, or this is America after all.
Yeah.
God, I hate it here.
Well, he sat armed, staring inside as usual, and told others that day that Bowenkamp was a dead man. So the town leaders, consisting of the sheriff, the mayor, and the prosecutor, all declined to intervene that day, citing lack of legal authority. McElroy openly bragged that he knew how to beat the system.
Sounds like the system was about to beat him.
Well, for the town, this was proof that the system had failed.
Sorry if you can hear my kids thumping. We're trying to film a GD podcast. Have some respect. This is a professional operation.
What are they doing? Jumping off the chair?
Fucking no. Who knows? God, they could be playing. They could be fighting. They could be dancing. A little bit of play fight dancing, all mixed together. I don't know. How long have you been recording? They've been quiet for this long. I'm honestly impressed. I can't even be too mad.
They've been doing good.
Get back to the story.
Okay. It was proof that the system had failed. The key factors were a convicted shooter remained free. The victim was still being terrorized, and law enforcement declined to intervene. So the residents truly believed that Bowenkamp's murder was imminent now, and it was only a matter of time. So on July 10th of 1981, in the area around Bowenkamp's store near the town center of Skidmore.
Old Skidmark. I was right from the rip, and I didn't even know it. This town should just be called Skidmark, because fuck this place. Stupid law enforcement.
Word spread quickly that he was back in town, he was armed, and he was again positioned near Bowenkamp's store. So they must have made a pact that if you see him do it again, we're all going down there. Approximately 30 to 40 townspeople gathered around his truck in groups. They included farmers, local business owners, laborers, and bystanders who were also drawn by concern or curiosity that didn't know what was going on.
He's only got so many bullets, so.
Ernest Bowenkamp was inside his store. He did not confront McElroy directly that day.
No, he'd already been shot once. I think he paid his penance. He can chill inside and let the other people do something.
No police officer was present at the moment of the shooting. So the standoff, McElroy remained seated in the truck, and there was a quiet pause. People were watching from different angles. There was no shouting. There was no verbal confrontation. McElroy appeared to reach for or adjust his weapon, and there were at least 2 shots.
Only 2? It didn't get lit firearms. The fuck up?
No, it was just 2 shots, one in the torso and one in the head. And it was a .22 caliber rifle and a shotgun were the murder weapons.
Shotgun to the chest, 22 to the head, bounce around in the skull cavity, brain scrambled. Done.
Trina was next to him in the passenger seat, and he was killed instantly in the driver's seat. It was all very fast and over in seconds. Trina escaped the truck and ran to nearby residents.
I don't think they ever would have hurt her anyways.
No.
I think the town
They were
viewed her as
saving
nothing
her.
but a victim.
Yeah, they were saving her. She wasn't injured. No one chased a suspect. No weapons were
Everybody
openly
just nodded to one
discarded.
another, tilted a hat, and
people left the
walked
area
off.
quietly. Exactly. They returned to work or their homes.
So when you say that the thought of vigilante justice worries you, if I can liken it to, this is going to be, yucky to talk about. If I could liken it to the KKK, they think that they're vigilantes, right? They feel justified in what they do. And they have talked just like I'm talking right now about like, well, this and this and this means this, and it's the fall of society, and we have to do something, and the system's not working, and when the system fails, we have to protect one another. They feel the same way that I just described about their cause.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not agreeing with their cause. I think they're fucking abhorrent. That's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that they feel if you hooked us up to a lie detector test, we would have both passed. I absolutely believe what the fuck I said about this man and the fact that he deserved to die.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely believe what the fuck they think about African American people deserving to die. Let's look at some differences. People did try to take this guy to court. And after years and years of everything failing and him actually almost killing someone and hurting children and all of this, they all got together and were like, what choice do we have? Pop, pop. 2 quick shots. No arguments, no words, nothing. Just, we have to get rid of this person. It doesn't need to be a fight. It doesn't need to be all this. We need to cleanse our fucking town. Right?
Right.
The KKK. We do cross burnings. We do lynchings, public hangings, these things that are torturous. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The point that I'm trying to make is, in and of itself, doesn't the fact that no one tried to torture this man, who I think kind of deserved a slower death than he got, I think fucking public hanging was just in this case.
Right.
Let him struggle till his last breath, like he did to the whole fucking town.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make me sad. You know what I mean? They didn't do that though. They all got together and they were like, we just need to end this. Quick and painless. Just end this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it shows if vigilante can be more like Batman than like a true form of justice and helping, a true form of honor, than just taking it upon yourself to do what you see fit, however you see fit. You know what I mean?
I can be down with that.
Like, they just were like, we need to solve a problem. We don't want any more pain. Not even this guy. We don't even want him to be
and
in
we're not
pain.
going to tell on each other.
And we're just going to just solve a problem. Whereas like KKK feeling so justified in theirs, the things that they do to promote what they see would be correct are cruel and sadistic and drawn out and terrorizing. They're acting like
Absolutely.
him. They're showing up and burning a fucking cross on your lawn. They're showing up and fucking terrorizing you and harassing you in groups of people against one unarmed man, you know what I mean? Or children.
Yeah.
And I think that if you can say, like, Courtney, the problem is that if you start to rationalize, yeah, it's dicey, but like, break it down and look at what each group stands upon and what each group has tried and how they were trying to handle the problems. And I think right there you see a clear divide, and like,
yes,
the
you have cleared it up.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, totally makes it more justifiable and more
I just see that
understanding.
they weren't trying to
More understandable.
and I think they should have. They had every right after 20 years of being abused by this man to fucking put his head on a stake at the fucking town square to just let anybody else know, don't fuck with us anymore. You know, like old school fucking
right.
Dracula shit.
Dracula,
right?
Vlad.
Yes. And they didn't. They just wanted peace.
Right.
They just wanted peace.
No, I
ultimately.
understand that. Absolutely.
And other vigilante groups, that the reason why you're feeling so like, I don't like this, is because other vigilante groups didn't go about it, that way.
That's true. They don't. Yeah.
And what is their reason? What is their cause? And what are their justifications for their cause,
Yeah.
Because they feel just as sure as I do.
They sure do.
And that's scary.
It is scary. Yeah, there is a difference. I see the difference the point you're making.
Yeah.
So after the shooting, the sheriff arrived and dozens of potential witnesses were there, but no cooperation.
I can't imagine that the police gave a shit.
When questioned, witnesses said, "Oh, I looked away. I don't know who fired. I heard shots but saw nothing." That's the statements that blanketed the town. The firearms used were never recovered, which I found that very telling, that they didn't just get everybody in the town's shotgun and compare ballistics.
That's a lot of a resource. And it sounds like they didn't have very many resources there.
Right. They pretty much just swept it all under the rug.
Yeah.
But
and everybody in that farm town probably owned a shotgun and a 22. So you really would be taking 400 fucking, right? You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. The investigating agencies were the local sheriff, the Missouri State Highway Patrol, and the FBI actually had some limited involvement in this.
Oh, now they give a fuck.
Right. They had zero witness cooperation and no physical evidence tying a shooter to the crime.
If anything, after all of that, the FBI comes to your door to ask about that fucking guy and inquire about his untimely death and troubles.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, I don't know shit. Even if I had been feeling guilty, I'd have been like, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, now people care what goes on in this town. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Like, it would piss me off.
Me too. No, I totally get it. Trina cooperated minimally with investigators. She never identified any suspect.
Good for her.
And like others in town, she claimed a lack of clear memory, or she looked away.
Good for her. I was worried that after, at this point, they'd been together for at least 5 years. It sounds like. I don't know the time frame of how long. I was worried that at such a young age, she really had been kind of like potentially brainwashed or something, but it sounds like
a Florence Nightingale effect.
Yes, it sounds like she never lost that feeling of like, I hate this fucking guy in this fucking life. And she was like, I don't know.
Yes.
I was scared. I went like
Florence
this.
Nightingale.
So
I meant that when you fall in love with your captor, that's another effect. I forget. But it's not Florence Nightingale.
Yeah. No. Why can't I think of...
It's the name of a town. The
Stockholm Syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Florence Nightingale Syndrome.
She ended up leaving... Skidmore shortly after the killing. There was never an arrest, never any charges, and the case remains officially unsolved as of today.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's basically considered collective vigilantism. It's widely believed that multiple townspeople knew who fired the shots. The silence functioned as a collective pact. No formal plan was ever proven, but everyone understood the stakes. And the silence protected the shooters in the town itself.
He'd hurt, at that point, everyone in the town.
Yes.
And so it wasn't like some of the people were like, well, like you, if he had never hurt you, but you knew all the other shit that went on, you would be like, but he never hurt me though. At this point, everyone was like, yeah, I got a bone to pick with this fucking guy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
He shot their fucking grocer. Back then, that's a lifeline for a town. You like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No. So the irony of his death, McElroy believed he was invincible and that the town would never act.
Oh.
He miscalculated their collective breaking points. And his final mistake was returning that day, armed and confident in daylight in front of witnesses. So the town said, we got nothing to
It was a long
lose.
time coming.
We got everything to gain.
Way too long of a time coming.
Trina left Skidmore shortly after his death. She changed her last name and rebuilt her life. She had no children with him.
Good.
And she later remarried. She hasn't pursued publicity or book deals or anything. She just wants to live her life.
Absolutely.
She has described McElroy as being abusive.
She was nothing but a victim. Nothing but a victim.
Yeah.
Fucking child bride. Ugh.
Yeah.
Good for her. I hope that she had a much, much, much better life.
I know. Because her whole life was shit up to that.
Well, thank God for the townspeople.
Otherwise, it would still be going on to this day until he died of natural death.
Missouri.
Skidmark, Missouri. So that's my story for today. Let us know what you think about this form of vigilantism.
Yeah, let us know if you're, and be specific. Or in general, do you like vigilantes, or in this case, can you condone it?
If you don't want to take the time to comment, how about this? Leave a red heart if you love the vigilantism. Leave a black heart if you feel that they shouldn't have done that.
Yes, or a middle finger emoji if you think, fuck this guy.
You could do it her way.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we hope you like this case. Very interesting. It's a good one for debate. Please debate me in the comments. Somebody. Let's go. Let's fucking go. We'll be back next time with episode 18 and our party poppers for 2,000 subscribers. Wah, 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 wah.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.